thanks to EA Creator Network for this early access event and game code for the LoveStruck Expansion Pack. You can use my creator code Misticalravensim when purchasing any Sims 4 DLC on the EA app or thesims.com to support me and my channel. Thanks so much for your support. I really appreciate it. So you can put this in the promo section when purchasing. Welcome back to another episode of our LoveBound mini-series. This is episode number 5. We are here with Melinda and Andrew. They are just getting a little bit of snuggling here on this love blanket. They are absolutely adorable. They are so very much in love. I'm going to be having them do a little bit of staring at the sky as well. Both of them have to go into work a little bit later, but they are just spending some much needed quality time together, and we absolutely love that for them. So I am just having them do a little bit of bonding. I do think that Melinda is going to need to go and use the washroom and get herself ready for work. And I'm going to have Andrew tend to a little bit of gardening before he heads in for his shift for the day. So we will see that take place. But it looks like Alina is calling. She wants to know if she should hook up with Mark because she has a bit of a crush on him. We're going to let her go ahead and do that. And we will get ready for both of them to head on into work within about an hour's time. So that's going to be fantastic. We'll both be sending them off to their shift here. Then we will continue on once they return home from their shifts. I do think that probably they're both going to just do normal duties at work today. I did have them try to make some socializing at work in their last shift, and so now I think they probably need to just get a little bit of work done because obviously we want them doing a little bit of progress in their actual career field, because sometimes when they do the socializing, obviously they don't really gain in their work roles. So I'm just going to go ahead and queue up here for Andrew to do a little bit of the gardening. We do have some harvesting that needs to be done and some spraying of bugs. So we'll try to get whatever we can done before he has to actually go ahead and head into work. Melinda's going to go ahead and go off to the washroom, and then she will head off into work as well. And then we will see both of them when they return home from their shifts. Truth be known, it's probably going to be a little bit late when they get home, and so they're probably just going to want to get some rest. But we'll see them when they get back. And it looks like she has embraced the change of being cheerful, so we'll let her do that. So she has discovered as many changes as she can, and she won't be having any more new personalities crop up on her. So she's going to go ahead and head herself on into work. We're just going to let him finish up with the gardening here, and then he'll be heading into work as well. So let's go ahead and send Andrew off to his job, and then when everyone gets home from work, we will continue on with this little family here. So I'll see you when they get back. So our family has arrived back home. We are just going to go ahead and queue up for Melinda to go get a little bit of rest. She does have pretty low energy. She's feeling very confident after her day at work, which is fantastic. She must have had some really, successful ghost hunting. Not hunting, because she doesn't really hunt the ghost. She actually helps them cross over. But she must have had some really good things happen for her in her job for the evening. And it's had her feeling really confident, which is fantastic. I am going to go ahead and get Andrew to come on back out here and finish dealing with these plants before he heads himself off to bed, because as we know, we do need to have them watered and harvested, and he didn't get to finish that before he went into his shift. So he's going to go ahead and deal with that, and then we'll just pop these vegetables into the fridge, and then we'll send him on off to bed to get a little bit of rest as well. Then once everyone has gotten some rest, we will go ahead and see them in the morning. So he's feeling really flirty, it would seem, but I'm sorry I can't help you with that right now. It would make sense that he's going to be flirty all the time considering he is a romance consultant, so that makes sense. But I'll see you in the morning. So we are up. It is the next morning. Melinda's just getting a little bit of stuff cleaned out of the fridge, and then she's going to go ahead and probably grab herself a bite to eat. And it looks like Andrew's up, and he is going to go ahead and grab himself some breakfast as well. Both of them are needing to grab something to eat here because they are feeling a little bit hungry. I will need to get Andrew to come on in here once he's done with breakfast and work on some of his work tasks for the day. So I'm going to just queue up and let him do that. Melinda is going to need to work on reading up on some handiness skill because we do need her to level up in her handiness so that she can get her next promotion in her paranormal investigator career, which is something that, you know, I do hope for her to be able to do. But once they are done with their skill building, I'm probably going to schedule them for a date. For his aspiration, he does have to go on 2 dates to go and be able to meet the next level. And she needs to build on her romance skill, and also she needs to woohoo in separate locations. So I figure we'll go ahead and send them out on a date and see if there are any woohoo locations that they can woohoo at. And maybe we can just kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So we will take them out on a date a little bit later and allow them to go ahead and spend a little bit of quality time together before they have to go into their jobs, because they do have to go to work in about 8 hours time. So we'll just take them on a little bit of a date and let them spend some time together before they have to go into their shifts. So I am going to get her up here. She's just going to take care of the house a little bit and do some cleaning up. And then we'll have her work on some handiness skills. And then they will go ahead and head out for their date for the evening. So she's just going to come up. It looks like there's some dust bunnies here in the nursery that she needs to take care of. So she's like, oh, you know, I can't keep track of these. You know, the dust bunnies are just out of control. But she's going to go ahead and get that cleaned up. And then we'll head her on down so she can get some reading on the handiness skill. I do think that while she's down there getting some handiness reading in, that she'll probably have a little bit of a chat with Andrew and see if he thinks that they could maybe go out for a little bit of a date. I think she would ask him if he was interested in that. So she's just going to ask him, you know, how is your studies going for work? And he's going to be like, oh, they're going really well. And she's like, you know, I was kind of wondering if maybe after we're done doing our job task, if you thought maybe we could kind of go out for a little bit of an outing. And he's like, well, what do you mean? And she's like, I just thought maybe we could go to the park and spend some time together as a couple on a little bit of a day date. And he's like, oh, well, that could be really nice. And she's like, do you think? And he's like, yeah, I would love to go out on a date with you. And she's like, okay, we'll definitely plan for us to do that. So I think that it's great that he wants to do that. He wants to spend time with her. Obviously, he's feeling pretty flirty right now. It looks like she's also feeling pretty flirty right now just from discussing that with him. And so they are going to plan for that date to happen once they're finished with their skill building here, which is going to be fantastic. So we just need to get her up, I think, to level 2 of her handiness skill. And he just needs to meet his modern love skill at 100%. So he's just doing a little bit of that research now. So once he has completed that, he will be all ready to go. And then we will be able to get him ready. He's just playing some video games now to pass the time while she gets her, you know, studying done here. So we'll just let him continue on with whatever it is that he kind of wants to do here, and she can finish her studies. Well, maybe she actually needs to get to level 3. I don't know that we'll actually get her to level 3, but we can get her up to level 2, and then we'll go from there. I'm pretty sure you did not get to level 2. I think you put that book away right before you got to level 2. So she's probably going to have to read a little bit more of that book, and I'm going to have to get her to level up. She stopped reading so she could love on her boyfriend. Like, really? Okay. She's just feeling really flirty, and all she really wants to do is spend time with Andrew, and I understand that, like, she really just wants to spend time with him and love on him, and they both can't keep their hands off each other, but you're not going to be able to get any progress in your career if you don't spend a little bit more time doing the things that you actually need to do, Melinda. So we've got her leveled up to handiness level 2. They are going to go ahead and plan for this date. So let's go ahead and plan for them to have a romantic date here. And that will be fun. So she does need to get gold on a romantic date. So that is a tall order, but we will at least try to plan a romantic date, and hopefully we can get gold on that. And if not, then we'll have to obviously plan another romantic date at a later time. But we'll see how we do. So let's go ahead and set up this romantic date. We will set our activities that we're going to have, and then we will set to go to the park, and we will just go ahead and do a little bit of socializing and being romantic and having a woohoo and go from there. So let's go ahead and go to the park. All right, so they are here at the park. As you can see, they have immediately started this off with romance. They're kissing and carrying on. She's going to ask him if maybe they can do a little bit of seductive dancing. Oh my, she's definitely got some moves. We love that. I think this is the new dance moves that we got for the pack, which we absolutely love that so much. These gyrating hips. They seem to be getting a lot of fun out of this, and they're having a really good time. We do obviously need to have a lot of romantic interactions here. We also need to talk about the stars or stargazing, and we need to have a woohoo, and we need to do some physical intimacy interactions. So there are a lot of goals that we do have to meet for this. So we are just going to try to meet some of these goals for this date. And she is just loving on him and trying to meet some of these goals. I am just going to have them look at her serenade him. Like, she is absolutely smitten with Andrew. She absolutely loves him so much. And I love that they get on the way they do. I really just think they are really a strong couple. They are very satisfied in their romance together, and I think that they really hit it off. I think that they're really, really happy together, even though they have a bit of a strained romantic dynamic because of what she has done to him. I think that, you know, they are bouncing back from that really nicely, and as you can see, they seem to really be doing well. So there are some options to try for a woohoo or try for a baby in the venue closet. So there is a woohoo interaction place here on this slot. So we will be using that to try to woohoo. So I will go ahead and set that up so that we can meet the woohoo goal here for this event. And hopefully we'll be able to mark that off as well. And obviously it will mark the woohoo for our woohoo in a different location for our aspiration for Melinda. So let's hope that we're able to do that. So they're just getting a little bit of stargazing in currently, and I'm hoping that that's going to meet one of our goals here for this date. And Melinda is just unable to keep her hands off him. She just loves him so much. And so she has, oh my God, autonomously decided to propose to him. Wow. Okay. Well, clearly she is more smitten with him than I realized she was. She just popped the question and he said yes. So it looks like they are engaged now, which, I mean, I actually love that. I'm not going to lie. So they are engaged to be married. We will have to, at some point in this episode, go ahead and set up for some events for the wedding and put those on the calendar so that they can go ahead and celebrate some of the events that you would have for a wedding. So we are loving that they're going to obviously be celebrating a wedding soon. And we're going to go ahead and send them on in and let them do that woohoo. And hopefully we'll be able to get credit for that for this date. Currently right now we aren't even at bronze. We're not doing really well with these goals for this date. It's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, but they are having this woohoo, which is fantastic, and we will see how they can get on with meeting these goals. I kind of was hoping that they were going to be able to kind of fly through this and meet these goals really quickly, and it was going to make it to where they could get close to gold, because she does need that for her aspiration. But as you can see, it doesn't matter kind of what I do. They're not getting credit for those things, and I'm having a really, really hard time getting gold on this date. I mean, I'm having a hard time getting even bronze on this date, so it's not looking like they're going to do very well. All right, so she did go ahead and get credit for that woohoo. It did give us bronze, which is fantastic. So we also got credit for the woohoo in another location for her aspiration, so that is perfect as well. They are just going to go ahead and have a little bit of a conversation here. And it does look like they are also starting to have some things that they need to take care of for their needs, like going to the washroom and even potentially getting something to eat. So I may send them over to the washroom, and I think there's even a grill here on this lot, so maybe we'll have Melinda go ahead and maybe grill some things and they can have a bite to eat together. So why don't you go ahead and do that soon. After they finish their cloud gazing, they can go ahead and tend to some of their needs. So I don't have the option to actually talk about stargazing or anything like that. I'm looking for those options and I don't seem to be finding them. Maybe they can talk about some clouds or something like that. We'll try that option, but hopefully we can meet some of these things. It wants them to woohoo again. It has popped up on their list, so I may try having them woohoo again. I probably won't do that on, like, I'll probably just cut that out of the footage. I don't really know, but I just don't know if they're going to be able to make silver or even gold on this date. It is really looking like we're getting close to the end of time here, and their progress is just really not going up as well as I would have really liked it to. So I am just going to get them to flirt and do physical intimacy items like they need to be doing here. They are still also having conversations, some friendly conversations, and we are just trying to get them, obviously, to meet these goals. And it's slowly going up, their progress in this date, but slowly. So they are definitely needing to go ahead and get some things for their needs. Let's go ahead and look at her kiss on his neck. Look, they are just hot and heavy on this day. They're both extremely flirty. She's going to go ahead and go on in. She's going to make herself a little bit of a drink over here at this bar. And she will get herself a bit of a drink. And then I'm going to go ahead and let them both go to the washroom. And then, like I said, there is a grill over there and some picnic tables. So we will have her go ahead and cook up some food so that they can both have themselves a little bit of a bite to eat here, because they are starting to get a little bit hungry. So we'll let her just go ahead and whip them up a meal, and then they can have a meal together. So he's asking her how she's enjoying the date, and she's like, I'm actually loving the date. I think that it's going really well, and I'm having so much fun with you out on the park. You know, it's really nice for us to get out sometimes and just, you know, spend some time together outside of the house. And he's like, I agree, honey. And she's like, you know, I think it's just wonderful that we're together. So she's going to go use the washroom here. I'm going to go ahead and let Andrew deal with his needs as well. As you can see, he's really hungry, so she is definitely going to need to get some food prepared for them, but he's heading on to the washroom as well. And then we will go ahead and make sure that everyone gets a chance to get a bite to eat. And that will be great for everyone, because I don't want them starving to death while they're out here on this date. So I'm just going to have her come over to this grill and we can do some chicken skewers, and she will whip those up really quickly for them, and then they will go ahead and have a nice little, not really a picnic meal, but you know what I mean, sort of like a picnic meal together. So we're going to go ahead and just serve up these chicken skewers. Look at this couple here staring at the clouds together. That's so great. Excuse you, Melinda, come and finish this meal, please. She's like, I want to go play this woohoo game. Or not. I know that's what you want to do, but you guys really need to eat something. So come finish this meal and you guys can eat together. And Andrew's hygiene is seriously in the red, so I'm just going to have him come on into the washroom and kind of wash his hands a few times and maybe brush his teeth, and he can get some hygiene up a little bit, and that should help a little for his hygiene until we can get him home and he can actually shower. So she is going to go ahead and put the food down, and then she'll call everyone to a meal. Oh, she can't call to a meal. Okay, well, we'll just grab her a serving, and then we'll have him come and grab a serving as well. And then they can go ahead and eat together. Finish yourself cleaning up here, and then go and grab yourself a bite to eat. He's like, you don't have to tell me twice. Okay, great. So he's going to go out here and join her at the picnic table. They're going to have a little bit of a meal together. And then it looks like both of them actually do want to go and play that woohoo game together, so they may go ahead and go do that. They seem to really want to play that game. Like, they've gone over to it several times now, so I'm just going to let them go and do it, because that's autonomously what they keep wanting to do. So we'll just let it happen. So they have their plates, and they're going to sit down and play this game together as well. So they're going to play this woohoo game together and have a little bit of fun together as a couple. playing this little game. And of course, we've had someone join in on our conversation here. We don't know who you are there, buddy, but thanks for joining in. But Melinda and Andrew do need to go ahead and probably think about heading on home. They do have their work shift that they need to get to. So I'm going to go ahead and send them on off to work. And then I will see you when we get back to the house. All right, so we are back home, and as you can see, they have gotten back home from work. We are just going to have Melinda do a little bit of weeding here, and then I'm going to send her off to bed. She is extremely tired after their long day at the park, and then her having a work shift. So she is going to need to get a little bit of sleep. Also, she needs to clean up this mess because there's dust bunnies and piles of dust everywhere, so we'll have her kind of clean that up as well. And then she can head herself off to bed. It does look like Andrew, where is Andrew? I have no idea where Andrew is, but we'll also let Andrew kind of deal with himself and get himself ready for heading to bed soon. And maybe he can kind of take care of some of his needs. I know that he was kind of feeling dirty earlier, so maybe he can get himself a shower and then head himself to bed. So she's just cleaning up a little bit, and then she's going to head to bed. Yeah, he's showering. Okay, so we'll let him shower, and then he's going to grab a bite to eat, and then we'll head him off to bed. And then everyone will go ahead and get some sleep, and then we'll see them in the morning. Look at her. She's like, there is dust everywhere. Okay, well, once you're done cleaning that up, you can go ahead and get yourself a quick shower too, and then get yourself to bed. It'll be perfect. So go ahead and get yourself a bit of a shower, and then you can shave your leg hair and go ahead and get yourself to bed. He is going to go down and grab himself a bite to eat, and then we'll let him go off to bed also. Everyone is really starting to get tired. It's getting really late at night, and like I said, they did have themselves a pretty long day. So go ahead here, and we will make sure that they have taken care of themselves, and then off to bed they're gonna go. Okay, it is the next morning, and Melinda is up. She is just gonna go and take care of some of her needs this morning. She's got to go to the washroom and get herself something to eat, and she is feeling really, really happy. Things are so really going well for her. She is ecstatic over the fact that she's just recently gotten engaged. We do need to go ahead and set up an engagement party for them, and we need to go ahead and set up their wedding event as well. So we will go ahead and be setting those things up in the calendar and making sure we get those all set up for them to celebrate with their friends, and that way they can have those things set up and ready for them to celebrate. I'm just going to go ahead and have them tend to the things that they need to tend to. It does look like Andrew needs to work on his work tasks for the morning, and I am going to probably get her reading a little bit more of her handiness, because I do think she has to get up to level 3, and she's currently only at a level 2. So once she is done with that, we will go ahead and let her deal with probably reading a little bit of her handiness, and then we'll get her set up on setting an engagement party and also setting the wedding event in the calendar. But that being said, I am going to go ahead and leave this episode here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you are notified when new episodes go live on the channel. And I will see you guys in our next LoveBound episode, where we are going to be continuing on with Andrew and Melinda and seeing what more we can get into trouble with them and what more romance things are going to pop up for them in their life. And until next time, I'm going to go ahead and fly for now. Bye, Ravens.